I hereby summon all my imps. Hey everybody, it's Annabelle. Kind of just wanted to do a little kind of Christmas wish list for myself for some of the things going on in Marvel Snap right now. A little bit of discussion about where some cards are at, where some reward tracks are at, and like I wanted to give my thoughts on some of it. And like how it makes certain people feel and how you can make some changes in the game that would actually fix it going forward. And the first fix that we've got to talk about is the very obvious fix in the room, very weird fix in the room. And that's with Steam. And the biggest problem with Steam is if you are currently running Steam and you're not using some sort of emulator and you're not using some sort of like third-party software to get in here, there is just missing so much on Steam at this point. Like, this is my Steam that's not hooked up to any kind of other stuff out there. I'm missing the stuff for Christmas. I'm missing the stuff for the record event that's going on right now. My notifications, I mean, I'm getting the stuff for the record event if I want to actually buy it, but I can't spin the records on this. There's no place for me to spin the records. There's no place for me to go collect my Christmas gifts. And if you look at my inbox is completely empty. This has been a known kind of feature in Marvel Snap for a while, and if you didn't realize that this was happening, you know, you're not getting the information, you're not getting the tags about, you know, what's going on in Marvel Snap. Like, you're gonna miss out on a free card. You're gonna miss out on tokens, you're gonna miss out on gold. Like right now, if you look at all the cards that I have, alphabetically speaking, you know, let me take down the duplicates. No, Nick Fury. I don't have a Nick Fury still. The reason I don't have Nick Fury still on this particular account is because this account is purely Steam. And, you know, losing out on gold, losing out on credits, losing out on cards, because you can't get onto a phone and you can only run Steam, is a big negative to this game in general. I mean, the other thing is that if you look at it, you know, once you start, what you really don't realize is that, you know, how many credits you need in order to actually get into a semi-good collection. And it really hides it because of these collection cards, these stupid collector's reserves. Only have a 1 in 4 chance of having a card in them. If you knew for a fact that, like, right now, I have maybe a third of all the cards in the set. I have to get to about 3,000 collector's level, and that's the collector's level you need to be at in order to get the entire collection. And the one way that I would basically fix this is get rid of these collector's reserves. I would rather have a different thing that said this is not a card, and one that said this is a card, you know. I'd rather know that coming up here, when I reach level 1222, knowing that this would be a card. And that would be more fair, that would be more honest than sitting there going, maybe this is a card, maybe this isn't a card. And even when I reach this, even if it is a card, the fact that I can't choose what card it is just so frustrating, annoying, because imagine that you and a friend both start this game at the same exact time, and you get to just getting into pool 3 or series 3 or whatever they want to call it, and you open up Destroyer. You basically have a card that can win you tons of games, tons of matches, and your friend opens up Adam Warlock. And how is that supposed to make your friend feel? How is that supposed to make you feel? You know, there's no way that you can tell me that somebody who opened up Destroyer and somebody else who opened up Adam Warlock are at the same exact power level at the game. And the thing is that you can say that you don't want everybody to have the entire collection, but there's no limiter to stop you from getting the entire collection. Nothing in this game limits you from getting the entire collection. There's no button here that says, hey, you own 90% of all the cards, you're done for right now. You can own another one when another one comes out. And there's a way that you can fix that. And the easiest way that you can fix that is you already put into the game. It's with these collector's tokens. When you walk up a path, you should get the right. Like when I get to level 1222, I should get a choice between whether I want the card that it gives me or collector's tokens. And in a perfect world, it would be a 1-to-1 ratio, but I know that's not going to happen. So like a Series 3 card, you could either get the card, and you would see the card. So this could be like, hey, you can get, Mystique, or you can get 1,000 collector's tokens. Now, I know you're not going to give away 1,000 collector's tokens, but the other thing that you could do would be like, here, you could either get Mystique or you could get 600 collector's tokens, which is roughly a little bit over half of the price of the tokens. And if somebody likes the card that they get, they're going to choose the card. But if somebody doesn't like that card, or doesn't want that card, or doesn't feel that card's good for them, then they can give it up and use 2 caches to get the card that they actually wanted, or 3 caches or 4 caches to get a higher card, giving up the caches for a more selection of cards. Another thing that you just gotta get rid of on this altogether are these boosters. 10 boosters are worth nothing. I'm sorry. Especially once you put in that booster magnet, or you can put a magnet on a card to choose the boosters for them. These boosters are the weakest thing in here. The second weakest thing is these credits. These credits you need to almost triple, and I'm not even gonna lie. Because to go from 1222 to 1226 is going to take you more than 50 credits. 50 credits is one jump. It takes 4 jumps to get to the next position every single time. So even right now, even if you went from here to here, and this is 150 instead of 50, you'd still lose out on a jump. I mean, it's 25 to get a spot if you go really cheap, or 50 to get 2 spots, so, 50, 100, 150, you throw this in here, and you might be able to get up to here. I mean, 50 credits is just so little. It should not take $1,000 to get a card. It should not take $3,000, because you got to be at collection level about 3,000 to own the entire collection of up to Series 3. And then after that, you're basically talking about $1,000 a card. So at least get rid of the boosters. Maybe up the credits. Turn the collector's reserves. Either make them different reserves so that people know that they're getting a card at that location. Because I would rather know I'm not getting a card here and know I'm getting a card here, so I don't get the expectations of a card here. And even when I do get a card, let me choose between whether I want that card or whether I want the tokens. Because there's some cards in here that I have no intention of ever playing. I have no intention of ever playing Adam Warlock. I have no intention of ever playing Beast. You know, I have no intention of ever playing Moon Knight. I'm probably never going to play a Moon Knight deck. I mean, the problem is if you get a card like Adam Warlock, or you get a card like Arrow, that can change how you feel about this game. You open up a card like Adam Warlock in your cache, you feel that you've wasted your time. You open a card like Arrow, you feel that you can win some games. Now, to talk about some of the problem cards that are coming out, I will give you some of the problem cards that are being discussed right now, and what some of the fixes could be to them. So, and to show you that I have, skin in the game. This is the account that is on my BlueStacks that I've put money into to show you that I'm actually doing skin in the game. And I'm not just trying to be a needful Nelly or somebody who's just sitting there going, you should just give me free stuff, and free stuff. But one of the things is that ever since you changed your model from 1 card a week to 1 card a month to 1 card a week, you really are going to have problems pushing out cards every single week. And nobody's able to keep up with them, you know, especially if you throw them all into Series 5. You know. But let's talk about some of the most problematic cards that are out there right now. Some of the most problematic cards out there, let me do this in alphabetical order. Let's go to alphabetical. Let me take off duplicates. Death. Death is a problematic card because of the fact that she can go to 0. And all you have to do is make her minimum 1. Because I mean, if you make her any more costly than this, you could. You could also bring down her power and make her a 10, but at the point that she hits a 10, you're just going to play She-Hulk. If this ever goes down to 10, you're never going to play Death, you're just going to play She-Hulk. It's a lot more reliable to get a 0 cost or a 1 cost card for 10. Another one that's out there that is Leader. And if you want to nerf Leader, the easiest way to nerf Leader is just that whenever he gets as a neutral. So if you get, like, per se, Magneto off of it, because your opponent played a Magneto, you just get a 6/12. So if you play a Odin, you just get a 6/8. So you don't get the on-reveal effect. You can leave them alone for the rest of it, and that'll be fine. Another one that gets a lot of hate and it could have an easy fix is Killmonger. And there's 2 ways to fix them. Either 1, make it so it's only in his lane, or number 2, add more Killmongers. I would like to see a Killmonger that's a 4-mana 4/4 that destroys all 2-cost cards. Killmonger that's a 5-mana 5/5 that destroys all 3-cost cards. That's the problem, is that this one area is the most farmed area. There's no card out there that I know of yet that can just destroy A2 or destroy A3. I know later on they're going to make a card that does it, but this is one of the few cards that exists that has destroy on every single line. And the whole idea is this is supposed to be a downside from you playing 1-cost cards. But most people just combo this with Nova. And when you combo this with Nova, it's not a downside. And I know that's part of the game, and there's everything out there, but, you know, if you either A, make it so it's only the lane that it's in, so that when you actually lock up the lane or you know your opponent's locked up the lane, you can actually play the 1s. Or B, make it so that you have other ones, because I'd love to kill Angela. I'd love to have a way to kill Angela. I have no real good way to kill Angela. If you have Angela down, there's really no way to kill her. You basically can't get caught by Elektra. You can't get caught by Killmonger. And the next time that she basically runs into any kind of trouble is if you get her all the way up to Shang-Chi. You know? Leech, I think, is fine. In fact, I'm one of the few people who believes that Leech could go down by one energy and still be fine. Because he only knocks away, like, cards that have, like, endgame effects. You know? Most of the cards, the problem is that as you grow card by card, you're going to have certain cards that just nobody's going to want to play. I mean, you've got, like, how many people really play Baron? You know, what deck are you supposed to put this in? You know, you're letting your opponent draw a card. Yeah, you're making it 6, but who cares? You know, where is the tech behind that card, you know? And another one that's looking on the list of cards to watch is Galactus. And the way you could fix Galactus if you really want to, because I don't think even if you, the problem is with Galactus is if you make him 2, or if you make him 1, or if you make him even 0, he becomes better in a Mr. Negative deck. The easiest and weirdest way to fix this is going to be if you made it so, I'll reveal, if this is the only card here, destroy all other locations. Now, if you were to read that, and to think of it correctly, that would mean that both sides have to be empty. So, take off the word "your" on this and you would be fine. So, if this is the only card here, destroy all other locations. So change "your" to the. And you're fine. Because one of the biggest problems that you're always going to run into, and this is going to be a biggest problem, as long as this card exists and you don't rework him, it's going to be Mr. Negative. Mr. Negative makes it so hard for you to balance around this game because anytime that you change somebody down, you sit there and you actually make them better for Mr. Negative. Now, one of the things that you could do just to make cards better is you can actually fix the no power cards. What do I mean by the no power cards? Well, I mean, Wasp works fine, because it's a 0 mana 1. And Misty Knight is fine because it's a 1 mana 2. But once you even hit Shocker, Shocker should be a 2 mana 4. Cyclops, 3 mana 6. Hulk, Thing, 4 energy 8. An Abomination should be a 5 energy 10, because once you hit back to Hulk, it goes perfectly fine. It goes to 6 to 12. Your no power, no text cards should be your heaviest hitting cards. Because one of the problems right now is if you look at somebody like Cyclops, and you look at some of the other options that you have, you're talking the same power as Silver Surfer. I mean, let's just not even go as heavy as Silver Surfer. Let's see here. You're talking a Hulkbuster. In what situation are you better off, unless you're purely playing a Patriot deck, which I'll give the default to? You're better off playing even Agent Coulson than you are Cyclops. You're better off playing Hulkbuster than you are playing Cyclops. You're better off playing Thor than you are playing Cyclops. You know, it's okay to buff some of your vanilla cards should be the highest stat lines out there. This should be a 6. If this was a 6, this would see play. Because the only thing that would even come close to that would be Maximus. Or Black Cat, which you gotta get really lucky on. You know. You're talking Polaris. Polaris is even a better card. Polaris is, because Polaris doesn't have the downside of Polaris is not really a downside. But even if I didn't have to, unless I'm purely playing a Patriot deck, I would rather play Hulkbuster than to play Cyclops. There's no reason not to play Hulkbuster over Cyclops. And that's problematic considering the fact that you don't have a lot of no ability cards, and you really can't make a lot of no ability cards. You know. You've made Wasp, that's your 0. You've made Misty Knight, that's your 1. You can't make another 1-drop that has a different power, that has no power, I should say, or is vanilla, that works for the same spot as Misty Knight. Because if you make a 1-1 that has nothing, she's just a regular 1-1, why would you play her as opposed to Misty Knight? You know. Also, just do yourself a favor, do everybody a favor, move Wasp way down. Wasp should be in like pool series 1. Maybe series 2 at best. She does not belong as a series 3 card. By the time you hit series 3, you're really not touching her. Anyways, that was sort of some of my ideas about what we could do in order to make Marvel Snap a better place and fix some of the cards that are kind of being a thorn in people's sides. Because what you don't realize, and what maybe nobody else out there realizes at this point, unless you do some stuff and fix some stuff down the road, by April it's going to get really hard to convince somebody to join this game. If you didn't join this game on game 1 and you wanted to join this game in April, you're going to have one giant climb up that ladder. And when you see even somebody like me who plays with something like Ultron, or plays even with something like Doctor Doom, you sit there and go, oh man, I really wish I could, Doctor Doom is so great to play with. I want to play that deck. And I get that you don't want a meta to exist. But you're gonna have a meta that exists. There's always gonna be a meta. And the only way that you can regulate that, put any kind of kibosh on that, or put any kind of stop on that, is to put something on there that says you can only own 80% of all cards that exist. And you're not gonna do that because people will get mad. And you're not stopping people from making the metas. You're just making people spend more to get the metas. Because if you want to, you can easily spend an extra $100 per week on this game, and this game will let you. And if you spend an extra $100 a week on this game, your collection level is going to be higher, further, faster. So, what you think you're doing is making an interesting game where people have to make interesting decks. What you're really doing is you're making it so that the average person gets frustrated with your game and leaves it way before they get excited with your game. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and as always, remember, play for fun!